Hello there, Commonwealth from here. The rest of 2022 and the first half of 2023 are now stacked up on the Nintendo Switch. So let's go over the most promising new releases, and don't forget to press that like button and subscribe for more detailed Zelda videos and Nintendo Switch news. We got a great list for you, so let's get into number 11. Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope, coming out October 20th, 2022. Hop in for a big adventure in this whimsical galaxy and improved XCOM Mario + Rabbids experience, with far more Mario than XCOM elements this time. Yoshi may be out, but other than that, a new Dream Team trio can be built from 9 heroes. Mario, Luigi and Peach and their Rabbid counterparts, along with the cool and independent Edge, the drowsy hero Rabbid Rosalina, and even Bowser has joined to save this kingdom. In other words, we're more than ready to jump into another tactical adventure with a new twist on tactical combat, explore a number of planets through the universe, and free them from Curse's evil grasp and save the Sparks. All that and more beginning from October 20th. And now, let's get started for real with this top 10 with Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, coming out December 13, 2022. Finally, we have a glimpse of what this game looks like on the Switch, and it isn't bad, which we also expected since this was originally a PSP game. The December release date is perfect, nearly a month after the last big release this year. Not only that, exactly 3 months after it showed up in the September Nintendo Direct. I love the story of this game, and it says a lot about this list when it is only number 10. But naturally, we have far more in 2022 before December on this list. Number 9, Sonic Frontiers, November 8, 2022. Open Zone Sonic. Any fan of this franchise has dreamed about this game where you get to play as Sonic at full speed with little to no boundaries. And following Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show, we're more optimistic than ever since we'll be roaming the open zone of the Starfall Islands in search of the Chaos Emeralds, trying to save our friends and maybe see them join us later in the adventure. I can't tell how good it feels to once again start and mostly play as Sonic. We do have one big concern though, which keeps this game on the 9th spot. The performance of the game on the Nintendo Switch, since a speedster needs as much smoothness as he can get, and I doubt we're getting 60 frames per second on this system, which is sort of key for Sonic, so we will see how the game fares in November. With that being said, the combat is fast and fun, completing classic stages from the open hub world looks really good, though a little bit repetitive from past games, solving intriguing puzzles and completing side quests along our main quest, all to help Sonic's friends. No matter what, we're looking forward to Sonic Frontiers on November 8. And now let's get over to number 8. It Takes Two, November 4th, 2022. The winner of Game of the Year at the Game Awards 2021, and it has its spot here for a good reason, as It Takes Two is an action-adventure platform video game developed by Joseph Fares and Hazelight Studios, and it's a perfect co-op game where you play as a divorcing couple that need to work on their relationship to be able to get their bodies back. All because they ended up within the dolls made by their daughter due to her tears after hearing the diverse arrangements. The premise of the story is as unique as the gameplay is, since no 2 levels resemble each other, but in each one of them you will need one another to solve puzzles and beat enemies and bosses. Literally, the gameplay evolves with the premise of the story, where each level will give you both different gadgets that are different but work together rather well. The gameplay varies vastly, and each of the unique gadgets keeps the game fresh, with new and fun interactive stages. What makes this already top-notch co-op game perfect? Yep, you guessed it, it is now on the Nintendo Switch. So get ready to set your differences aside with your loved ones. Or maybe it will lead to even more infighting. After all, we're getting 3 Mario Party games in Nintendo 64 Switch Online. But let's get over to number 7, Pikmin 4, coming out in 2023. Probably the biggest surprise in this direct, as all hope seemed to be lost. And well, it was about time that we got to see this game, since Shigeru Miyamoto said the game is very close to completion and let me check, 2015, 7 years ago. Yes, you're getting a 7th spot for that. At least we didn't wait 3+ years for the final title of the game. Joking aside, what I do find interesting though is that the game is offering a new third-person perspective aimed to immerse us in playing from the Pikmin's perspective. That and Pikmin 4 otherwise staying respectful to the gameplay of the franchise are definitely positives. Also rest assured, this is the only farming game on this list. Number 6, Persona 5 Royal, October 21st, 2022. We can't recommend this value for your money enough when Persona 5 Royal finally hits the Nintendo Switch. Originally released in 2016, in the West in 2017, fans have been holding their breath since the announcement of Joker in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a DLC character in 2018. Well, a little under 4 years later, we got it for the format that is the most ideal for this art style and gameplay. Persona 5 Royal undocked on an OLED display. Then again, I guess Shin Megami Tensei 5 in 2021 was the reason as to why Atlus waited this long. For all of you wondering, Persona 5 is the quintessential JRPG where you play as high school students with side jobs and heroic hobbies. If you want to experience Tokyo since, well, it is still closed for us gaijins, then playing Joker with his initial Persona Ascent by his side and naturally his friends is the second best option. Ryuji, Anne, Makoto, Kasumi, and more without forgetting the mascot Morgana are waiting for you to join or return to the masterpiece that is Persona 5 Royale to live a double life as a student and a phantom thief. Few games come to the quality of the narrative style and gameplay of this game, which is the start before Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 Switch also launch on the Switch in 2023. Number 5. Bayonetta 3, October 28, 2022. Close to 5 years after its reveal at the end of 2017, it is finally here. The perfect hack and slash Halloween title releasing on the 28th of October. Platinum Games has never disappointed us with this franchise, and with ideas from the scrapped Scalebound in this third installment, don't be surprised if this is a franchise just like Splatoon that just gets better and better for each new game. A new threat we know well from Astral Chain, the homunculi have reached Bayonetta's world. Though don't you worry, our Umbra Witch has one too many weapons and forms up her sleeves, and why not her heels to save the world as she goes around the world, including in central Tokyo, rural China, Europe, USA, and other locations. Over-the-top gameplay and flashy combos is the recipe to success here. But with a new premise, we hope that the story can also deliver. As Jeanne is also present, and we also slash and slay as Viola, a feisty witch in training and a capricious companion. And with her time-slowing witch time ability, you will certainly not notice the time fly by while playing this Halloween title. Well, until Sonic and a certain other game are out. Number 4. Metroid Prime 4, release unknown. Metroid Prime 4. We know you will be great, it is just that it will be the longest wait. You seem to be the only game left without a release date, which is understandable since the development of the game restarted in 2019 with Retro Studios taking over the reins. That is reassuring, but it is underwhelming that after the amazing Metroid Dread last year, it seems that Metroid, much like Zelda, is taking a release break in 2022. We're not talking about new games here, because, well, they're coming later down the line, but in the case of remakes and re-releases. So there, we addressed it. For now, we can only hope and speculate. Thankfully, this is the only game with an unknown date on this list, which is actually amazing. So let us go through some honorable mentions before we hit the podium of this list. Nier Automata, Yorha Edition. SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Number 3. Fire Emblem Engage, January 20th, 2023. The rumors and leaks were right. We'll have a new Fire Emblem, Engage, on January 20th next year. Yes, no 2022 release, but as close as it gets, since boy, does it look promising. In the continent of Ilios, a dragon has woken up from his slumber due to the seal on its weakening after the Four Kingdoms joined hands 1000 years ago to seal it away. If this sounds familiar, then you're not wrong, since the dragon isn't the only one to return after 1000 years. As Marth is back, there was a spirit in the ring this time to aid the protagonist of this new story, and this is sort of the gimmick of this game, which is taking full advantage of Three Houses' game engine. Summoning valiant heroes from the past with the Emblem Ring to add power to your allies. As ever emerging appearances, engaging grants you weapons, skills and more from the battle-tested legends. Well, for us icons, as Marth is already confirmed to be joined by Sigurd and also Celicia. The game looks stunning and the gameplay fun and engaging, no pun intended. This game will be the perfect opening to 2023, placed between our two final entries on this list. Number 2. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon has finally reached its final destination after a long journey which started with the wild area in Pokemon Sword and Shield, then the open zones in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now in late 2022, everything is coming together with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the first open world Pokemon game with a map that is ours to conquer. Breath-of-the-Wild-like freedom in Pokemon, choosing a path through the region of Paldea, a vast brand new region seemingly inspired by Mediterranean Spain and Atlantic Portugal. The path we choose through Paldea can be just random, or you can follow a path, since there are multiple ones but in any order. A traditional path to Victory Road by beating the 8 non-linear gyms, and finally the Pokemon League, where you can start with the Path of Legends to help research a perfect healthy recipes for Pokemon and seek out rare ingredients or Herba Mystica. Or the last path, which is stopping the troublemakers and the evil team of this generation, the Starfall Street. Obviously, you can do them at your own pace and way you desire, and that is exactly what we want from this franchise, including open world online 4-player co-op with our friends. The traversal on the legendary Miraidon or Koraidon, depending on the version you buy, makes biking, gliding and swimming around into such a joy and will make the discovery of the island easier and truly seamless. This game would have been number 1 if it wasn't for the sequel to the game that inspired Scarlet and Violet in the first place. Number 1. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, May 12, 2023. What else? Seriously, what else? This game is literally the best of Zelda's present, blended with the best of the past that was lacking in Breath of the Wild. The story and lore seems to be deeper, the gameplay refined, and the altered open world expanded with 2 additional vertical layers, an unknown scale underground, and what appears to be a gigantic sky, filled with floating islands and tons of references and ties to the mysterious Zonai tribe that was the biggest tease in Breath of the Wild. No other Nintendo game can show so little over 3 years, but with the final title and release date at last in place, it is clear that by all indications, the last new 3D Zelda on the Nintendo Switch is aiming for one thing: crushing Breath of the Wild, including on its own surface with alterations, new features, and the list goes on and on. 3.5 minutes of gameplay is little to nothing to go off, as we are still to see the HUD of the game, but this game is no matter what our most anticipated game period. We have 3 fresh videos detailing this game, so go and check them out after this one, since otherwise we would be gushing over the 20th Zelda game for way too long. But that is understandable, now that this game has a title and release date: Tears of the Kingdom and May 12th. And that is our selection of our top 10 upcoming games on the Nintendo Switch. Do you have some other selections? Then write them in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell, and last but not least, a big thanks goes to you for watching and to all our patreon.com/CommonRealm patrons, and in particular our role producer Charles. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these 2 awesome videos.